This was me 7 weeks ago, over 20% body fat, heaviest I've ever been in my life, and the chunkiest. And this was me 4 weeks later after aggressively cutting. And this is me now, 7 weeks later, completely unflexed, not even flexing. Here's the backstory. 7 weeks ago, I was the heaviest I've ever been in my entire life, 165 pounds, 20% body fat. I was a walking marshmallow, okay? And the reason why I got there was because I started chasing a 315 bench. The infamous 315 bench. Lost my abs, all just to put 3 plates on the bar. Was it worth it? No, because I didn't even hit 315. I hit 305 and I hit 275 for a lifetime PR of 4 or 5 reps, I believe. And I don't know, it wasn't worth it. Okay, I couldn't look at myself in the mirror anymore. I felt terrible. My sleep was worse, and food stopped tasting as good. Honestly, just pounding down calories just to push the weight up, just like a monster, like some kind of gluttonous monster. That's what I became. So 4 weeks after that, I went on an aggressive cut and lost 15 pounds pretty quickly. I posted that on TikTok here, got 4 million views, went pretty viral, but there were a lot of misconceptions. And so the point of this video is to show you how I actually did it. What I did for the past 7 weeks and the first 4 weeks to lose as much fat as possible and transition into a more normal, healthier paced diet. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the cardio that I did, I'm gonna talk about the training that I did, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what I ate, how I ate, my approach to eating and cardio, and so you can copy me, and then you know people will accuse you of trying at school, at work, wherever, at church. So let's talk about my training first. The very first thing I did was I stopped bench pressing. I know, after all that sacrifice to chase the 315 bench, why did I stop bench pressing? Well, because I was doing a lot of volume, and when you're cutting, especially aggressively, you can't recover from higher volume, especially if you train with intensity. So it was a necessary evil, and I had to just go back to my dumbbell incline and maintain the strength there. But I found that the flat bench pressing that I did throughout the bulk made me a lot stronger at incline pressing. There's a lot of carryover between the exercises, so that's the upside. And I'm now bench pressing 110 pounds per hand on the incline dumbbell bench. And I've maintained that up till this point, despite being 10 pounds lighter now. So would I say it's a win overall? Yes, because it only took me around 7 weeks to lose, I would say 60 to 70% of the fat that I did gain over those 2-3 months. So yeah, overall it was sort of a win. Other than that, I reduced my volume and kept intensity high. What does that mean? Well, that means I did less work in the gym, fewer sets, fewer reps, but I stayed as close as possible to failure. And that allows you to recover better throughout your cut. And so, especially on an aggressive cut, when you have lower carbs and you're keeping your protein as high as possible to preserve muscle, the carbs are what you use for energy in the gym. So if you have very low carbs, you're not gonna be able to recover even between sets. So, and you know what determines whether or not you maintain muscle or retain muscle throughout a cut is how much strength you can maintain. So if you don't have carbs in your system and you're doing 4 sets, by the 4th set, all you're doing is just adding to the recovery bar and not really adding to your muscle stimulus. So that's just counterintuitive. So that's basically what my general approach was to training. And other than that, I just trained completely the same as I did on my bulk. You shouldn't be drastically changing your exercise selection. It should be the same things you're doing in the gym. You're just altering the volume to account for the reduced recovery or the reduced capacity to recover because you have less food, less nutrition, and so on. Now, in terms of diet, I ate in a 400 to 800 calorie deficit. And why was it such a drastic deficit and difference in deficits? Is because you can't sustain an 800 calorie deficit every single day. There were some days, particularly weekends, where I would eat in a 400 calorie deficit instead, just to allow myself to recover a little bit better. But the other days where I felt good, I had a lot of energy, I would push it to 800 calories by eating 400 calories less and also doing 400 calories of cardio. What type of cardio did I do? Stairmasters. And is there anything special about Stairmasters? No, nothing at all, to be honest. There's nothing special besides the fact that I can watch Invincibles on the Stairmaster and pass the time extremely fast. There's no other reason why I would recommend Stairmasters over incline walking, which is actually a little bit less taxing. And if you prefer that, then yeah, just do that. But I just chose Stairmasters because I just felt like I like sweating. It makes you sweat a lot more. And there's nothing inherently good about sweating more. It's just preference, okay? So any form of cardio that you enjoy, that you can adhere to for a long time and do daily, if you could see yourself doing that daily, then that's the cardio for you. Okay, it could be bicycle, it could be the bicycle, it could be Stairmasters, it could be incline treadmill, it could be gooning. If you can burn 400 calories gooning, absolutely do that. That is incredible. If you can do bedroom cardio with your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever, or just your bro, then just do that. 400 calories is your target, okay? There's multiple things you can do. You can even play sports. It just takes longer, all right? The most efficient thing, I would say, is to stay in zone 2, keep your heart rate in that range. So it's 1, burning calories efficiently, but also not depleting your glycogen stores. Because if you increase the intensity of your cardio, then you're also tapping into glycogen stores a little bit more. And that's the energy source that you use for heavy weight training. That's why if you do HIIT cardio too much, you're kind of depleting yourself for your training sessions. And that's why HIIT cardio on a consistent basis is harder to recover from, and it's less beneficial for achieving a better body composition. Okay, now another really key and important variable that people don't really talk about enough is the people around you. Okay, if the people around you are also cutting, the people around you are aware of your goals, they know you're on a diet, that is everything. The environment, the people you surround yourself with can change this game, can make it completely way harder or way easier for you to achieve these goals. Okay, think about it. The people around you, your parents, your roommates, your siblings, if they're buying cookies and laying it out all in front of you, how hard is it, do you think? How hard is it when you see everyone around you eating cookies and cake while you're eating ground beef and rice every day for the next 4 weeks? It's going to be way more challenging if it's like that. If that's your home environment, it's way harder. So the key to success is to kind of manipulate your environment. If you live alone, you have every opportunity to create the success, create an environment where it's hard for you to mess up on your diet. You go to the grocery store, you're only buying vegetables, fruits, whole foods, things that you can't really ruin your diet easily on. And you buy that and you put that in your house, and there's nothing you can do. You have to go way out of your way to cheat on your diet. And that's how you can stay consistent over the next 4 weeks. Let's say if you do an aggressive cut, because that's what I did. The other thing is I was around friends that were also into bodybuilding, into cutting. Okay, they were very serious about this as well. They're into running. They wanted to cut down for the summer. Everyone had a common goal. And so when we went to work out together, we were literally seeing cutting updates from each other. My friend Josh was ahead of schedule. He was way ahead of us, and it motivated all of us. We saw him and we're like, dude, what did you do? But realistically, he was only just 4 or 5 weeks ahead of us. He started cutting earlier, and that lit a fire under all of us, okay? And even now, I'm super motivated to go through the next 4 or 5 weeks of cutting because I realize Josh is a little bit ahead. And so, the friends around you can motivate you a lot. And if you don't have people in your life that are into bodybuilding and serious about this like you are, I understand. I used to be there as well. You need to follow someone, me, that is going through that journey. And I'll be giving cutting updates. I give physique updates on Instagram, and you can join me on this journey. All right, if you start your cut now, you're literally cutting with me. And so, every time you see a video, every time you see a new post, it should remind you, like, you're not alone in this. We're doing this together. We're getting shredded together, okay? And it's okay if you mess up. You just got to get back on top of things. Watch one of my transformation reels that I post on Instagram, and remind yourself of what your goal is. Remind yourself that you're not doing this by yourself, and there's a huge community of people that are doing the same thing as you. And that's what this is all about. All right, that's what's going to make you successful. That's the thing that's going to make you stand out and be exceptional, is being around people and having people in your life, having influences, having inputs from others that are motivating you, people with common goals, being part of a community like that, and having others around you, creating an environment, being mindful of what you consume to succeed. That is the ultimate secret to doing this, to succeeding at this, okay? Anyway, thanks for tuning in. My next goal is to cut another 10 pounds to get to my leanest that I've ever been in my life while maintaining more strength. I definitely built size in my arms, in my chest and everything, so I'm excited to show you guys the final result. Time's gonna fly, time's gonna pass anyway, so if you haven't started yet on your summer cut, get to it. It's time to lock in. Now's the time, all right? You're not too late. The best time is now if you haven't started, and if you've already started, well, lock in for the next few weeks because you could completely change your physique if you do. It's gonna pass really fast, and if you do the right things, you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed. And I'm super proud of you if you've already been on this journey, or if you're just on a bulk. Whatever you're doing, thanks for being part of this community, man. I'll see you in the next video.